And I'm incredibly proud to have made this movie with Andreas. I grew up with his films, and I think he's just a great director. And what is super important to me is that I played a role, a character, a human being that actually existed, Hilde, who was, you know, a very silent kind of person. And what I think is important is that we also allow for a bit more of these silent tones to creep into the debate, that we also allow for the things to happen inside of us, and that we don't always have to, you know, present every single opinion that we have as trying to bash each other. And I mean, but I presume that you have many more questions, right? It was important for us as well that the people who are working on behalf of the system in that movie, that a large part of them are rather friendly. You know, the judge is not Friedel, who is shouting and barking in court. He is, you know, appears to be a rather decent person, and yet he is pronouncing a death sentence, as such a system is being carried by millions of people who are opportunists and who just adapt themselves. You don't have to be loud for that. It can be very, very soft and almost silent. That is just as dangerous. And to us it was important to show that both the people in the resistance and the people that are working for the system, that you can, you know, find your own reflection in these people, and so that you would ask yourself, where would I have been, you know, when talking about the project. And, you know, I'm also talking to myself about these things because I'm thinking about all the things that I do there, but at the same time, you know, I don't really have a master plan. It's the first time that I'm here. I'm sitting here for the first time. You're asking me this question for the first time. Of course, I have done this work, but, you know, when doing this work, I'm talking about a kind of duality of closeness, because it was always somehow about me, and it was also always about the character I was playing. So this also was true in prison. I was always confronted with myself, you know. When I'm holding a tiny human being in my arms, then I'm there in a double function, you know, as the actor. I'm there as Liv taking care of the child, and I'm there as Hilde taking care of that child. And Laila mentioned that initially, that is also something that gave her so much strength, and that also gave me so much strength, because there is a living being there that needs me to exist, and that needs me to be present with everything I have and that I am. And I think that gave me a lot of strength. And apart from that, I thought it was terrible. It was really horrible, you know, even until today. You know, I find this to be an incredible story that happened there. You know, this moment when I am holding, you know, the personally signed original signed by Adolf Hitler, my appeal, you know, this was real, that was not fiction. You know, when I appealed for pardon. So we never made that up. That was the question of whether it was actually worth it. Was it really worth it that they all gave their lives for something that, you know, never really reached its goal? And we try to answer that question by saying, yes, you know, decency is always worth it. And I think it's not just decency, you know, human decency. It's also the kind of you know, connectedness, being connected to others is always worth it. That, I think, is one of the most important things in life, you know. I'm sitting here right now and I'm totally excited, but then I look at Andy or Johannes and I look at the people in the audience that I know. Yes, we're just holding on to each other. And I think from time to time we're called upon to reflect on these essential questions of life, also in the art that we're creating. So I am totally happy to be offered such a screenplay by Laila and to be able to then have people like Liv and Johannes and to be able to actually make this movie with them, because it is a great gift to be allowed to go through these intense times together. And this film was very, very demanding in so many different ways. And I think we also tried to take more care of each other than in other movies, which of course also had something to do with these unimaginable scenes that we had to somehow shoot. So we really had to hold on to each other, and we were shedding tears not just in front of the camera. The whole team was crying from time to time. But those are very, very existential experiences that you carry over in your life even after the film. And I'm very grateful, and I'm also grateful to see, you know, this kind of resonance being elicited in the audience if they dare to watch the movie, which I hope. You know, to me as a human being, it's important to watch these kinds of movies, but it's not a feel-good movie at all. But I think the existence of these types of films is justified in all the different cases, but still, you can't really do this all the time. But of course, we are actually dealing with existential questions all the time. And I think it's the most incredible screenplay I've ever read. You know, really, truly. You know, because it has so many different layers. I'm not even probably responsible for saying things like these, but I'd love to say that it really is an incredible screenplay. It was incredibly adapted to screen. We had an incredible camera woman, a director of photography, and then also the decision taken by producers to tell a woman's story, to work with women, and to offer and open up this kind of space is an incredible project. And he's also an incredible director who really knows what he's doing in almost all aspects that are relevant. Really. Yeah, that would be nice, says Mr. Dresen. So I don't get to experience that every day. Thank you.